Mhm. Hi, did you hear that? Little local warm up. I'm Carolyn J. Carpenter, Hollywood Gatekeepers. We are going to talk about how can I learn to become a reader? Well, how can you learn to become a reader? I already know how to learn how to become a reader because I am a reader. So I'm going to talk about how can you learn how to do this? So if you watched yesterday, we talked about what is a reader. So if you didn't see that, scroll in the Facebook group, go on over to our YouTube channel. It's both places. Check it out. What is a reader? So I'm not going to go into what is a reader because I already did that. Every day this week, I'm popping on for quick, just what my friend calls knowledge bomb. I'm just going to do like 10 minutes in and out, start your day, because I got to get on over to homeroom. So what is a reader? How can you become a reader? Get to the point. How can you become a reader? Where do you learn how to do this? Well, let me tell you a story. It's story time. I'll use my cat book. Excuse me. So where do you learn to become a reader? Well, I'll tell you how I learned how to become a reader. There are many ways to learn how to become a reader. And the one thing that I know is that there's not one thing, not one way. So there are many, many ways to do anything, just like reading. I have a very certain style that I use that has worked really well for me. So that's why I kind of double down on this is a style, this is an approach that I wholeheartedly believe in. I'm seeing it work. I'm going with it. It's not broken. I'm not going to fix it. So how I learned that was trial and error, basically. So what I've done is figured out a way so that other people don't have to do trial and error. And you can learn how to be a reader totally. There's many, many places you can go. There's many places, and you'll see there's many contradicting thoughts about it. There's many people that say, oh, it's not really a thing. Oh, it's not worth it. Oh, it's papa. We call those the wonk wonk people. Man, you can't really wonk wonk wonk. That's how they sound in my head. And those are the people that also say, nothing's really possible. They live in a place of, I'm calling them the they people, but what I call the they mindset, which is no, they do that. They have people that do that. They are the rock stars. They are the musicians. They are the screenwriters. They are the readers. They. No, it's you. You, if you want to, it's you. So how do you go about doing this? And I actually used to, I'm going to really date myself here, but I used to do panels on kind of lots of different things. But I would go film festivals, whatever, and be on panels about the reading process. And people would often ask, how do you get started? And I would tell this story. So back, we're talking like when I was young, like I'm saying like junior high. I realized really, really young, I would be when people would say, like even before junior high, and people would tell me, oh no, they do that. When I heard the they thing, I'd be like, immediately, who's they? Like I thought they was like a person, like they, oh no, they is this really great person that does everything. So when I was really little, I thought they was like an actual person. And so then it was like, oh no, they is like this thing is an I don't know what they is, but I want to be they. So I kind of had that going in. And so then when I was younger, I had this amazing secret, total secret sauce to learning anything, like anything. I realized really young, oh, I can learn anything. This is so cool. I loved reading, obviously, kind of a given, which helped this whole process. But because I loved reading so much, I started to realize, oh, there's this place I can go and they will tell me everything. No, I think you might be thinking one thing, it's actually not that. And then there's a tool I can use to find out how I can make it work for me. And those two things were the library and the phone book. Totally dating myself. But yes, I would go first person in the library, last person out of the library. I would sit and read in the library. And then when I realized, if I was going to audition for the show Evita, I would read all the history books about Evita. Like that's the kind of preparation I would do for things. I just would go. I would read autobiographies, a lot of those about people and how they got to things and what they were doing. I would research and surprised I did grow up to be a researcher, actually. I'm researching screenplays. So that became what I did. And then I would go to the phone book and be like, where can I do that here? So I had that just really young, like really young. And then I would call them up, and partly because I was so young, they'd be like, oh, you're so sweet. Well, this is what you do. But I've actually found that in general, for the most part, there's always the outliers that are mean. People are nice. People want to help. People are, curious too. People are like to be asked because that makes them the authority. So it's really an interesting system. And so I pretty much learned how to cook. So many things. Basically, I learned dancing skills, dancing phrases, French. Like, it was just like this place I could go and this thing I could do. Now, of course, things are a little bit different. But when I decided to be a reader, I did the same thing. Back to the library. No, actually, by then, I didn't really need to go to the library at that point. But I talked about that story at panels and stuff because I wanted people to get into the mindset of really the thing that makes you able to learn it is that you say, I am this. It's an identity shift. So the day I decided, when I learned what is a reader, I was at a screenplay conference. Someone talked about getting your script past a reader. I was like, what? Like, I'd never heard of that term. And I was like, that's the coolest job ever. And so I just said, I'm a reader. I didn't know a thing about it. And that's the thing, is like stepping into the identity of that thing, whatever it might be. I'm a writer. So I always say, if you're here, you're a writer. Just own that now. Even if you don't write screenplays, if you're going to be writing coverage, you are a writer. When people ask, what do you do? I'm a writer. So even if you do something else, 60 hours a week, you're a writer. Own it, be it. So I did that. I'm a reader. And then I figured it out. I figured a lot of it on trial and error, which that's why one of the things that drives me every day to do this is that I don't think it's all that fair that writers are submitting their screenplays and readers like me are learning how to read on their screenplay. But that's a very common path of how this is done. There are some courses and things that you can take. Google it all. There's like a lot of places you can learn how to do this, which brings me to current day. So now I have this friend that I really love, and she like knows everything about anything, and she can tell me anything like that. She's my buddy. She's my buddy Google. And Google is amazing. And she has this like cousin, I think, or maybe actually, no, I think she owns her. And that's YouTube. She's got this other friend called YouTube. They get together. Wow, you can learn anything like that. So that is one way to do it. YouTube, Google. We have a YouTube channel. I'm on it right now. You can find out that way. You can find out, and then you'll see how many conflicting things there are, which that's good. You should know as many conflicting theories, styles, possibilities. But all of this got it to where it was like, you know what? I'm going to create a place where we start at point A and we say, here's the first thing you need to know. And that's like, how many pages is a screenplay? How many, like, what is the format? Like, where does the name go? How do you, the nuts and bolts. And then phase 2, step 2, we're going to talk about like, what are all the creative things? How do you write dialogue? How do you create characters? What's a character analysis? I went to school, got a degree in drama. How do you how does that all fit together? And then once you dug in and you feel like you're an expert there, now what kind of reader do you want to be? Do you want to read for film, for television, for writers, producers? What do you want to do? What life do you want to choose? It's all your choice. One of the reasons I chose to be a reader is because I also became a parent. And I was dancing, acting, doing all these things. There were many things involved. But one of the reasons I got in a car accident, couldn't dance. Another reason, then I became a parent not long after that. And I'm like, oh no, I want to be there for every nick and scrape and bruise. I don't want to just be there for the big moments. I want to be there for every breath. And so what's something I can do so I can be there for that? And reading was that. Reading in the park, reading in the hockey rink, reading in the soccer field, reading, always reading, being right there. So that was one of the reasons why I chose this career. So you choose it, and then you decide, what kind of reader am I going to be? Who am I going to read for? What am I going to do? And you build that. And then where do you go to find that? Now comes the phone book phase. And that is, where do you go to make that happen? And that's what we created in Hollywood Gatekeepers. We created Go here, go here, go here, go here, boom. And that's what we talk about in the masterclass. So when you come to the masterclass, these are the last master. We do this every great once in a while. And, elephant in the room, we talk about information in the masterclass. We tell you like all about it. We also have a course that enrollment opens during the masterclass. And in that course, that's implementation. We talk about what it is, how to do it, all of that in the masterclass. And then we have implementation to help. So the masterclass is totally free. Come learn. Come meet my friend. Come to my library. I'll be your phone book. And let's talk about it. Let's talk about what it is. I'll be there live, answer all the questions that you have. And we talk about that in the masterclass. So these are the last masterclasses. We only open them every great once in a while because we primarily want to focus. We're in here every week doing trainings, in case you haven't noticed. And we also want to be focusing on the implementation. So we only do the masterclasses a few times a year. This will be the last time that we do them for 2020. So go to HollywoodGatekeepers.net/masterclass and you can jump on in. If you're watching this and you go there and it's not right. It's right now. It's almost October. If it's not that time and it's not open, just get your name on there and you will get notified of the next one. So register, even if you see the dates and they're not dates that you can do, go ahead and register because then you'll be, we'll give you notification of the next one in case you can't make it to the one. We don't do replays. We just live tell you what it is. So you got to show up live. Power of showing up, super important, really important. Did I say it was important? It's really important. So show up live, come to the masterclass. We will talk even more about how you can become a reader. It's so exciting. We're having so much fun. So I will be in Hollywood Gatekeepers Facebook group and on YouTube every single day this week, talking about topics that have to do with being a reader. And then I'll see you in the masterclass starting this weekend. See you there. So excited. My friend Google, she's coming with me. She's always with me. My friend YouTube, she's really with me. I'm at her house right now. I'm gonna go now.